It seems like there's a new security breach every day. Are you confident that an old SSH key or a shared admin account isn't going to come back and bite you? If not, check out Teleport. Teleport is the easiest, most secure way to access all of your infrastructure. The open source Teleport access plane consolidates everything you need for secure access to your Linux and Windows servers, and I assure you, there is no third option there. Kubernetes clusters, databases, and internal applications like AWS Management Console, Jenkins, GitLab, Grafana, Jupyter Notebooks, and more. Teleport's unique approach is not only more secure, it also improves developer productivity. To learn more, visit goteleport.com. And no, that's not me telling you to go away. It is goteleport.com. Good morning, AWS, and welcome to the AWS Morning Brief. Once again, everything's on fire with the log4j exploit problem that we discussed last week in the security portion of this nonsense. Let's dive in and see what AWS has been up to this past week aside from that. Amazon FinSpace is now in scope for SOC 1, SOC 2, and SOC 3 compliance. On the one hand, I'm aware that these certifications require time to achieve. On the other, I'm trying to imagine pitching this to FinServ customers without having them. Tough pitch. Amazon Lookout for Vision now supports visual inspection of product defects at the edge. Meanwhile, Amazon Lookout for Twitter now supports visual inspection of product defects in items at Amazon.com shipped to customers. Amazon Nimble Studio adds new features to support Linux, usage-based licensing, and Los Angeles Local Zone. Los Angeles Local Zone is kind of a no-brainer for what is effectively a video editing and render studio in the cloud. Amazon Route 53 updates API actions. Unfortunately, the API still looks basically like shoving JSON into XML, a combination that only IBM could love. Seriously, JSON-X is an unholy merger of the two that IBM built. AWS Ground Station launches a new antenna location in Punta Arenas in preview. Two problems here. The first, launches and ground station mean different things than this headline intends them to. Secondly, an antenna isn't really something you preview. Now open, AWS, Asia Pacific Jakarta region. That's right, AWS's Jakarta region has launched with dozens, or several, of services. Look for that to expand in the near future. This episode is sponsored in part by our friends at Chaos Search. You could run Elasticsearch or Elastic Cloud or OpenSearch as they're calling it now, or a self-hosted Elk stack. But why? Chaos Search gives you the same API you've come to know and tolerate, along with unlimited data retention and no data movement. Just throw your data into S3 and proceed from there as you would expect. This is great for IT operations folks, for app performance monitoring, cybersecurity. If you're using Elasticsearch, consider not running Elasticsearch. They're also available now in the AWS Marketplace if you'd prefer not to go direct and have half of whatever you pay them count toward your EDP commitment. Discover what companies like Equifax, Armor Security, and Blackboard already have. To learn more, visit chaossearch.io and tell them I sent you just so you can see them facepalm yet again. How Goldman Sachs built persona tagging using Apache Flink on Amazon EMR. I almost missed this the first time I saw it because the Goldman Sachs personas looked like a reprint of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What's new in Amazon Redshift 2021, a year in review? Alternate title for the same article, What's new in Snowflake 2018, a year in review? Replicate your data from Amazon Aurora MySQL to Amazon Elasticache for Redis using AWS DMS. Use a third service to move data between two of our services feels less like a feature than a bug to me. And finally, using AWS security services to protect against, detect, and respond to the log4j vulnerability. Looking at the sheer number of AWS security services pitched in this article really brings home my "they cost more than the breach" argument. And that's what happened last week in AWS. A short week, thankfully, even though it felt 8 times longer than it should have been. I'll talk to you more later this week.
This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.